Okay. One of the things, this class, by the way, it's a research class, and I will tell you, and Megan can tell you, um, it's been an educational process when putting this class together. The only research that I really have done up until putting this class together is with my graduate degree. And I've actually done research, as part of my project for my master's, and have done all the things I'm going to be asking this class, this online class that we're going to be doing. But it's been a real kind of a tedious adventure for me putting this together because as a student, you're guided through the process. So I had to step back and leave the student perspective and be the instructor perspective and say, how do I guide this person now through this process? And I have to admit, that was very challenging for me, very, very challenging. And what I thought going into this was going to be a piece of cake, there were times, I'll be honest with you, I was sitting there thinking, how am I going to do this? So it took a lot of thought, and Megan was very patient with me. We met I guess weekly for the most part. And Megan had a lot of good ideas, and Megan would ask me sometimes, well, where are we going with this, or what do you want to do? And I would sit there and sometimes I go, I'm just really not sure. But it was really good for me because I was being challenged in a lot of different ways, and there was some frustration because I knew where I wanted to go, but wasn't really sure how to get there, and where I want my students to go and how to get there. So one of the first things, of course, when I started developing this course was we need to have a starting point. And so as you open up the course, or I open up the Blackboard, and I'm trying to look at everything through the student's eyes. And how can they navigate through this course without being confused or getting lost? So that was a very important part of putting this course together, is being very clear in my instructions, how to get from point A to point B. And to offer a lot of ways of getting there, a lot of different options. I know one of the first things that Megan we were discussing was that you need to put different pieces of information, the same information in different places. And at first I thought, well, it's just kind of a waste of time, to do that. But, the more we started working with this, and I'm thinking, well, if I was a student, if I'm here and, in this module where I'm over here in the assignments, it would be nice to be able to hook up or to link up with those in different places. So it really cuts down the confusion. So the more we kind of got into this, the more logic it started to make. It made a lot of sense to me. So to start the course, of course, to start the program, the student's going to see this, the very first thing. It says start here to begin. And then I kind of tagged, and this was due to I did this as a result of our review, Megan. I put then go to weekly modules so they would know, yes, you do this, and then I want you to go to the weekly modules. Sort of give them a way to understand the pathway, So one of my assignments is to actually involve the class, and I want to involve the class by putting together a voice thread, so that the student, and this is actually they're getting 5 points to do this. So they're going to develop a voice thread, and what I did is I put a voice thread together. They can get to this voice thread in two different ways, either by clicking here or clicking on the web link. But in the voice thread, it's an introduction to the class. I welcome them to the class. And also I give them instructions on what to do, as far as how to navigate into voice thread. I'm just going to play you a little bit of this, but I don't want to go too much into it.
Hello, my name is Wesley Fye, and I would like to welcome each of you to REST 452, Introduction to Research and Evidence-Based Practice in Respiratory Therapy. I will be your instructor for this course, and I'm also the program chair for respiratory therapy here at the University of Southern Indiana. A little bit about me. I've been a respiratory therapist for over 32.
Well, anyway, I don't want to go into all that because I've already heard all about me. So I don't want to. Okay. And that would be the next slide. And what I'm asking them to do is they're going to develop a voice thread. And this was done so that I could connect the class. I wanted to find some ways to connect everyone so that these individuals, that the students taking the class, wouldn't feel like that they are part of something. They're a part of this class. So in order to do that, I'm bringing them together in a voice thread so they can all see each other. They can talk. I can interact with them a little bit through the voice thread. So in this, they're going to tell a little bit about themselves, how long they've been a respiratory therapist, what inspired them to be a respiratory therapist, what role that they play in their institution, and their most memorable moment as a respiratory therapist. So that's that's kind of an icebreaker I wanted to throw out there for everyone. Plus, they get graded on that too. And as we navigate on into the first page of the Blackboard, then what I've done is, of course, I have the full syllabus here. And my syllabus comes up, of course, when you click that, and there's my syllabus for the course. And it has everything in there. It has web links, course overview, has my objectives. I have every link in there you can imagine for everything from support to how to, voice thread support, Blackboard support. I have information on how to contact me. But what I've also done let me get out of this. What I've also done is, and I learned to do this through one of the Quality Matters workshops, is to break the syllabus down into sections. So I have my full syllabus here, but then if you click on that, it actually breaks that syllabus down into the sections of the syllabus so that the students don't have to read through the whole thing. If they want to just go through grading methods, for instance, they just click on grading methods, and there it is. There's my grading method. So that it kind of it simplifies things for them a little bit too. So that was one thing that Quality Matters I thought was a really cool thing, and I wanted to adopt that, into my program, into my class. They're going to be in assigned groups, so I have an assigned group here that they're going to be automatically will be put into groups as they register into the course, and then I'm going to assign them a topic to do research or to actually do different parts of research. So also, I've got a course event calendar here that shows exactly, like week 1, it's going to be the interview. There's the About Me presentation for 5 points. And then I have 4 discussion boards that they're going to be involved in. I'll give them a topic. There'll be a discussion board. There'll be graded on discussion boards. And as you can see here, I have quizzes. And all my quizzes are, they're 10-question quizzes, and those questions were taken out of the textbook, the required rating. But what I've tried to do again is make things very simple and easy for them to see exactly what is due this week. So one of the ways I did that, if we go back over to weekly modules, every week there's a to-do list. I'm going to click on one here. Let's go to week 1 here. And I have a week 1 to-do list, and then I've got little instructions. Click on learning activities here to review this week's modules and assignments. So as they go through, they can go, okay, I need to do this, and they can click on that. I've taken care of that. So it's a little to-do list where they can keep up with their progress and what they've done. But when we go and click on the link learning activities, then here's the presentation, About Me presentation. There is the research groups are listed here again. Then I have videos, instructional videos all the way through. Every single module, according to what that week we're covering or addressing, will have a video, 2 to 3 videos. So that if they really don't understand exactly what I want them to do, I have these very thorough instructional videos in every single module. I have instructions for everything. Here's my discussion board instructions here. Here's a rubric. With every discussion board, I'll have a rubric. It's the same rubric, but I have duplicated that throughout all the modules, so that every, if they have a question, and then they can know that and look at the rubric, whatever. research methods introduction. So if we go back to, of course, on down if we, like, let's say we'll go on down to week 4, just kind of give you here's their to-do list again for week 4. Then we click on learning activities, and here's our videos that we're going to be looking at. Now, the way this is set up, and Megan reminded me of this the other day, that if we go to student view,
If you turn the on to be off, on the other way to the right, or the left.
Either way, okay. Yeah, you can.
You're right.
oh, you mean here?
Yeah, if
Here?
you turn it off, then that becomes the other, yeah.
Oh, like that?
Yeah.
So what they'll do is that's the first thing they'll see. Of course, in instructor view, we see all of them. But in student view, this is the first thing they see. So when I set this course up, I wanted to be sure that they started seeing the instructional videos first. So they will have to watch that, then they'll go to the next one. There's the next instructional video there. Then when they're done with that one, then they'll go to the, there's a discussion board. And of course, there's a discussion board rubric right there. Click through the launch, but that is the instructions for discussion board. And each of my modules are set up exactly the same way. Okay. And I have 16 modules, right up to the literature review final paper will be their final project. What they do here. As far as the side panel, I wanted to simplify that, so I went in right away and deleted things that were necessary to kind of, again, cut down on confusion. So there's my week, of course, begin here, weekly modules. There's assignments, quizzes, and that just has a listing of all of the assignments and quizzes. But I also have these in my weekly folders too, so they can find these in 2 different places. There's about the research question. That is about the discussion boards. There's the rubric there for the discussion boards. And that was another thing too it was really a kind of an eye opener. Megan was like, well, you need rubrics for this, this, and this. And, standard classroom teaching, you give exams, okay? I've used rubrics with my writing classes. I have one writing embedded class I teach, and I have rubrics for those. But I wasn't used to using a lot of rubrics, but I saw how necessary that was, that these people need to know exactly how they're being graded. I mean, with every little thing that's going on in discussion boards, so that they can go back and know, this is how I'm getting my score, this is how I'm being graded. So I was careful to put it to rubric, there's a rubric for everything in here, so that they can know, how they're getting the points. But then, here's quizzes, of course. My quizzes are here. And there's all my quizzes. There's 4 quizzes. Article summary critique. Of course, I'm very, I guess I'm trying to think of the word. APA 6 is very important to me, and especially for healthcare writing. Research. So I'm real particular about APA 6. So here's APA 6 writing guidelines, instructions for the article critique rubric, and here's step-by-step instructions here. So I was very careful to put in instructions for everything. And the same thing, peer review. There's going to be a peer review process we're going to do here, 2 peer review assignments, where the students actually will look at each other's writing and research. And they'll comment on it as a peer review. Because, of course, peer review is very important in research. So I wanted to really bring out, and it is a basic research class. They're not actually going to be doing research, but I wanted to give them the basis of what research was all about. How do you start it? Why is a peer review important? What's the importance of a research question? Things like that. And my research groups will be here, and they can click on that and find their research groups that I've assigned. So research groups, I have studies on acute respiratory distress syndrome, ARDS. Then research group 2 would be COPD. And I tried to think about or topics that would be easily found on the internet. They wouldn't have to really struggle to search. I wanted to make it as easy as possible to give them a way or to go in and start doing this research without having to pull their hair out of their head, by the end of the night to find it. So, grade book was set up. I don't know if I guess I don't need to show that to you. Any questions?
Yeah, Wes, can I see your set up the reference page there on the assignments? I think it was under assignments. Is that a video you got from somewhere, or did you, it's on further down? Or did you record that, like setting up the reference page?
Oh, I see. No, I found that.
Did you find
Yeah,
that?
I found that. Yeah. Which I was very pleasantly surprised when I would go in and start researching some of these YouTube videos. They were dead on some of the things I was wanting to talk about. And, I'm all about you guys, but I'm all about not having to reinvent the wheel unless I have to. I mean, if there's a video out there that's public, that you can access, that's going to describe it as well as I could, if probably not better than I could, why not use it? And so that's what I did. And yeah, if I had not have found something like this on YouTube, I was prepared to do a Panopto or something that I could go in and actually, do that myself.
But you were able to find YouTube videos for all the different
Everything.
sections of, yeah.
I was so surprised. So many videos. I mean, it was a matter of what videos I wanted to use. I spent a lot of time reviewing these videos and making sure they were exactly what I wanted to see.
Right.
I just have two comments.
Yeah.
One is that if you put YouTube video there, just so you know, it's on the author's mercy. They could take it off YouTube, then you ended up having a dead link.
Right.
So every
Yeah.
semester you want to go back to check
That's
to
right.
make sure all your material is still
Yeah.
up to date. And the second thing I want to point out is more for Wes. I think I missed this one. If you go back to that where that video was, and I think you put it under the assignments and quizzes. And the purpose of our navigation, setting out weekly modules and assignment quizzes, is that weekly module is more for instructional material, and assignment quizzes is like a shortcut people can get to
Right.
it quickly. So this video probably should be put in the weekly module. At the same time, how do they submit the reference page homework should be put in here, so you probably
Right.
get it confused.
So I
You may
just need to
want to-
move that.
Yeah, you may want to double check with your weekly modules and assignment quizzes to make sure that the instructional material and the assignments are put in the weekly. And then the assignment quizzes folder is really just for a shortcut. And what we did, you see Wes has a lot of the things repeated in every places. However, what he did was not copy the item. He had to create a link, a course link. So if something needs to be dated, he only need to do it once instead of trying to find all different copies.
That's
So
right.
that's just a quick comment that you have done. Very good
I
job.
was checking to see if I actually had that
You may
same
put it in
video
double
somewhere else.
places.
Yeah. And there's a good chance that I probably do. I just,
Yeah.
because I duplicated quite a bit and
Right.
linked
Right.
these.
And you had the whole
several times.
summer to
Oh,
kind of tweak this.
Yeah.
I just misfound that when I did the review, didn't realize that was the case.
One of the things too that I realized I needed, I'm gonna go back to this real quick. I'm gonna show you this. And I thought this was pretty neat. I'm surprised that I missed it. And we found this in my review the other day, and I'm going to show this to you real quick. If I can. Here it is. This is what I missed, and I thought this was a pretty neat thing. This is the course mapping worksheet assessment. This is so important, and I can't believe I kind of overlooked this as we went through this. This links up what, as far as because the top part, of course, are the objectives. And then to the left over here is the assignments. So this links up your objectives with your assignments. And this is so important, and that was the one thing I missed. Of course, it took me a whole 30 minutes to create this when I got back. And so I've added this onto my syllabus, and of course you see it here too. So
And what Wes did very good is I think he maybe missed understood the exercise when we do that in LZGP cohort, he put the learning objectives on the top. But on the side, he put his modular learning objectives. So he tried to match the modular to the top because it's not that clean. So I think both of them are equally important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Because I have,
I think you should include both of the information. They are equally important for students. And this is really cool because learner can actually see that and yeah.
there it is right
Oh, this
there.
is yours, yeah. So what he did was he didn't include the other one, but he included this
Yeah.
one.
So I have both of them on there.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Mm.
I really enjoyed this. It was a lot of work, okay, it was a lot of work. I can't even imagine how many hours I put in this. There was a couple of days I did nothing. Like I had the day out and I was able to just focus on this. And there's a couple of days, that's all I did for the whole day. From the minute I got work, and then I was still working. It was 5 o'clock. It's like I got to go home now, and I still had stuff to do. And it's like I didn't want to leave. But it was well worth it once you get it done, and it was worth it.
If you can finalize your presentation with one sentence or one phrase, what has your online teaching perspective changed before you joined the program after you joined?
I think what sum it up for me is a heightened sensitivity to what the student is going to see going into an online course like this. That has really caused me to be more sensitive to what would make it easier for them as far as navigation and understanding of what you're trying. Because it's easy to stand up here and tell you exactly what I want you to do in a classroom situation, but you have to realize you're not going to be in a classroom situation, so you have to think of things that's going to substitute those, like a video presentation or explicit instruction, because you're not going to be there to give them explicit instruction. So to answer your question again, I think it really caused me to be a lot more sensitive to what the students going through.
Great job.